This video is on how to file appeal under Income Tax Act in form number 35. During an income tax assessment, there may be instances when the taxpayer is not satisfied with the order passed by the assessing officer. In such cases, the taxpayer is entitled to file an appeal before the first appellate authority, that is the Joint Commissioner Appeals or the Commissioner Appeals as the case may be. By Gazette notification dated 25th September 2020, CBDT has notified the Faceless Appeal Scheme 2020. Under this scheme, all income tax appeals before the first appellate authority shall be finalized in a faceless manner under the faceless ecosystem. The scheme was amended, and under the amended Faceless Appeal Scheme, the National Faceless Appeal Center assigns the appeal for disposal directly to a JCIT or CIT appeals of a specific appeal unit through an automated allocation system. The appellant may request for a personal hearing through video conferencing, and on receipt of such a request of the appellant, the respective JCIT or CIT appeals in the appeal unit shall grant such a personal hearing to the appellant through video conferencing. In 2023, CBDT has notified the e-appeal scheme, White Gazette notification dated 29th May 2023. Let us now see the time limit for filing the appeal. The appeal before JCIT appeals or Commissioner appeals can be filed in form number 35 online on the e-filing portal within 30 days from the date of service of order or the demand as the case may be. Let us now look at the documents which are required for filing the appeal. In order to file the appeal, you are required to have a copy of the order. To download the order from the e-filing portal, you can go to Pending Actions tab on the home page and then click on e-proceedings and then download the order from the e-proceedings section. You would also be required to upload the demand notice, the details of the appeal fees paid, the details of the pending appeal if any, details of the taxes paid, the statement of facts, grounds of appeal and the documentary evidence. If you have the demand identification number, you can keep a copy of that. Let us now see step by step how do we file appeal on the e-filing portal. Please remember that the appeal can be filed in form 35, which is required to be submitted online on the e-filing portal. In order to file the appeal, you are required to log into the e-filing portal using your valid TAN or the PAN user ID and password. Post login, you are required to go to e-file, click on income tax forms and go to file income tax forms. Form 35 would be available in the form category persons not dependent on any source of income in the PAN login. In the TAN login, you can also search Form 35 and click on File Now. You're then required to select the assessment year and click Continue button. However, if you're filing the appeal in the TAN login, year type will be financial year. So you can select the financial year from the drop-down menu and click on Continue button. You can go through the document list which will help you to file faster and then click on Let's Get Started. Here you are required to select the applicable order type, that is, if you are filing an appeal against an order with DIN or without DIN, and then click on Continue button. If you decide to select File Appeal for an order without DIN, you are required to enter the relevant income tax section, order number, date of order or the date of notice of demand, date of payment of tax in case of appeal under section 248 and then click on Continue button. On the other hand, if you are filing an appeal for an order with DIN, you are required to select the DIN of the order from the drop-down menu, relevant income tax section, subsection, date of such order or the notice of demand, date of payment of tax in case of appeal under section 248 and then click on Continue button. Now you are required to enter the details and confirm all the tabs. Let us first click on the Basic Information tab. In the Basic Information tab, the details of your name, contact information and email ID will be auto-populated. In case you wish to update the contact details, you can visit on My Profile section. You are required to enter the address to which notices may be sent. You can edit the address. You are also required to select whether notices or communication may be sent on email. You can choose Yes or No button and then click on Save. Once the Basic Information tab is confirmed, you are required to click on Order Against Which the Appeal is Filed tab. Here you are required to enter the details of the order against which the appeal is filed. You can select the year type as assessment year or financial year. However, if you are filing an appeal in TAN login, please note that the year type will be auto-selected as financial year and the other details will also be auto-filled. After selecting the drop-down, the year will be auto-populated. You would be required to enter the details of the order appealed against or appeal under section 248, the document identification number. You can also enter the details of the income tax authority passing the order appealed against and then click on Save button. Now the order against which appeal is filed tab is confirmed. You're required to click on Pending Appeal tab. You're required to provide the details of any pending appeal. In case there's any appeal which is pending before the Joint Commissioner or the Commissioner appeals, you can click on the radio button Yes, else you can click on No. If you decide to click on Yes, then you're required to add the following details. That is the Income Tax Authority passing the order appealed against, the Joint Commissioner appeals or the Commissioner appeals with whom the appeal is pending, appeal number, date of filing the appeal, assessment year in connection to which the appeal has been preferred, section and subsection of the Income Tax Act under which the order appealed against has been passed, and the date of such an order. You can also click on Add button to add the details of any other pending appeals. If you select No, then no further information will be asked and you can click on the Save button to confirm the tab. Now the Pending Appeal tab has been confirmed. You can click on Appeal Details tab. Here you are required to enter whether the appeal relates to assessment or it relates to penalty. If the appeal relates to assessment, you can click on Yes radio button. You would be required to provide the details of the amount of income assessed, the total addition to income, in case of loss, the total disallowance of loss in assessment, amount of addition or disallowance of loss disputed in appeal, and the amount of disputed demand, which is nil in case of a loss. If the appeal relates to penalty and you click on Yes and the radio button, you would be required to provide the details of the amount of penalty as per order and the amount of penalty disputed in appeal and then click on Save button. If you select Not Applicable, other fields will be auto-selected and then you can click on Save button. Appeal Details tab is now confirmed. You can now click on Details of Taxes Paid tab. You would be asked that if the return has been filed by the appellant for the assessment year in connection to which the appeal is filed, whether tax due on income return has been paid in full. You can choose to select Yes, No or Not Applicable. In case no return has been filed by the appellant for the assessment year, whether an amount equal to the amount of advance tax as per section 249 subsection 4 clause B of the Income Tax Act has been paid, you can click on Yes, No or Not Applicable. If you click on Yes, you would be required to provide the details of the amount of taxes paid. If the appeal relates to any tax deductible under section 195 of the Income Tax Act and borne by the deductor, the details of the taxes deposited under section 195 subsection 1 would be required to be provided. You can click on Yes radio button and then add the details of the amount of tax deposited. Please note that if you are filing appeal in the TAN login, the first two fields will be auto-selected as not applicable. If you have already filed the return for the assessment year in connection with which the appeal is filed, the question is whether tax due on income return has been paid in full. If you select Yes, you would be required to enter the details of the acknowledgement number of your ITR, the date of filing your income tax return, and the total taxes paid, and then click on Save button. Where a return has been filed by the appellant for the assessment year in connection with which the appeal is filed, whether tax due on income tax return has been paid in full, you can select No or Not Applicable and then click on Save. Where no return has been filed by the appellant for the assessment year, whether an amount equal to the amount of advance tax as per section 249 subsection 4 clause B of the Income Tax Act has been paid, if you select Yes, you are required to enter BSR code, date of payment and amount and then click on Add. If the appeal relates to tax deductible under Section 195 of the Income Tax Act and borne by the deductor, details of the tax deposited under Section 195 subsection 1 are required to be provided. If you select yes, you can enter BSR code, date of payment, amount, and then click on Add button. Details of taxes paid tab is confirmed. Click on Statement of Facts, Grounds of Additional Evidences of Appeal. Write the facts of the case in brief and add the details of documentary evidences relied upon and grounds of appeal by clicking on Add Details. You can also add the documentary evidences other than the evidences produced before the income tax authority during the course of proceedings. If you wish to add such evidences, click on Yes and then attach the list of documentary evidences relied upon. Statement of Facts, Grounds of Appeal and Additional Evidence tab is now confirmed. Now you can click on Appeal Filing Details. You would be asked whether there is a delay in filing the appeal. If you click on Yes, you are required to enter the grounds of condonation of delay. If the appeal is in time, select No. You are also required to add the details of the appeal filing fees paid. In order to add the details, click on Add button. Please note, to know how to make payment of appeal fee, please refer to the video on payment of fee for filing appeal under Income Tax Act 1961. After adding the details of the condonation and the appeal filing fees, you can now click on Attachments tab. As per the inputs provided by you would be required to attach the documents. Please note that the size of each attachment should not exceed more than 5 MB and all the attachments put together cannot exceed 50 MB. All the attachments should be in PDF or the zip file and the zip should contain only the PDF formats. Here you are required to attach the copy of the order or the intimation appealed against, the copy of notice of demand, the documentary evidences and the additional evidences. You can also attach any other attachment and then click on Save button. Attachment tab is now confirmed. You can click on Verification tab. You're required to select the declaration, add your name and then click on Save button. All the tabs are now confirmed. You can click on Preview. After previewing the appeal, you can click on Proceed to E-Verify. You would be asked for a confirmation. You can click on Yes and then select the appropriate method for E-Verification. Once you E-Verify, you will receive the success message on the screen along with the transaction ID. You can click on Download button to download the acknowledgement receipt. You can also download the acknowledgement as well as the appeal along with the documentary evidences by clicking on E-File, go to Income Tax Forms and click on View File Forms. Here you can click on Appeal to Joint Commissioner Appeals and you can download the form, you can download the receipt and you can download the attachments along with the appeal form. Filing an appeal before JCIT or CIT appeals is very easy. To know more, you can visit our website www.incometax.gov.in or contact our helpline numbers.